Good morning, everyone. Today we are doing 5-year plans highlight. First 5-year plan 1951 to 1956 laid the thrust of economic development in India, presented by first Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru to the Parliament of India, mainly addressed the agricultural sector, including investment in dams and irrigation. Irrigation projects like Bhakra Nangal Dam, Hirakund Dam, and Damodar Valley dams were made based on Harrod-Domar model and emphasized increasing savings. 5 Indian Institute of Technologies were established. The target growth rate was 2.1 and achieved growth rate was 3.6. Second 5-year plan 1956 to 1961. Rapid industrialization with emphasis on development of basic and heavy industry and the public sector, also called as Nehru P.C. Mahalanobis model, emphasized on quick structural transformation to increase the rate of investment from 7% to 11% of the GDP. Atomic Energy Commission came into being and TIFR was set up. The government imposed tariff on imports to protect domestic industries under this plan. Durgapur Steel Plant with the help of United Kingdom, Bhilai Steel Plant with help of erstwhile USSR, and Rourkela Steel Plant with the help of Germany was set up. The target growth rate was 4.5 and the actual growth rate was slightly less than expected, that is 4.27. Third 5-year plan 1961 to 1966, also known as Gadgil Yojana. The goal was to make India a self-reliant and self-generation economy, increase national income by 30% and per capita income by 17%. The focus was on agriculture and improvement in production of wheat. The states were entrusted with additional development responsibilities. Example, states were made responsible for secondary and higher education. Panchayat elections were introduced to bring democracy at the grassroots level. The target growth rate was 5.6 and the actual growth rate was only 2.4. This plan failed due to Indo-Pak War of 1965, 2 successive years of severe drought, devaluation of currency by 57%, general rise in prices and erosion of resources. The miserable failure of the third plan made the government to declare plan holidays from 1966 to 67, 67 to 68 and 68 to 69. In 1966, Government of India declared the devaluation of rupees with the view of increased export. Fourth 5-year plan 1969 to 1974, also known as Ashok Rudra Mane model, under the prime ministership of Indira Gandhi and attempted to correct the previous failures. Emphasis was laid on growth with stability and progress towards self reliance. The government nationalized 14 major Indian banks, and the Green Revolution boosted agriculture. The Drought Prone Area program was also launched. The target growth rate was 5.6, but the actual growth rate was 3.3. Fifth Five-Year Plan 1974 to 1978. Stress on increasing employment and poverty elevation. Garibi Hatao. 20 points program was launched in 1975. In 1975, the Electricity Supply Act was amended, enabling the central government to enter into power generation and transmission. The Indian National Highway System was introduced. The minimum need program introduced in the first year of this plan aimed to provide the basic minimum needs. MNP was prepared by D.P. Dhar. Target growth rate was 4.4 and actual growth rates turned out to be 4.8. In 1978, the newly elected Morarji Desai government rejected this plan. Rolling Plan 1978 to 1980. A rolling plan is the one in which the effectiveness of the plan is evaluated annually and a new plan is created on the following year based on this evaluation. As a result, throughout this plan, both the allocation and targets were updated. Focus of plan was enlargement of employment potential in agriculture and allied activities to raise the income of the lowest income classes. Sixth Five-Year Plan 1980 to 1985 underlined the beginning of economic liberation by eliminating price control. Seen as the end of Nehruvian socialism, prevent overpopulation, family planning was introduced. National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development was established, Shiv Raman Committee. The target growth rate was 5.2, actual growth rate was 5.7. Seventh Five-Year Plan 1985 to 1990. Prime Ministership of Rajiv Gandhi, improving industrial productivity level through the use of technology. It focused on attaining prerequisite of self-attained growth by 2000. Saw the beginning of liberalization of Indian economy. It emphasized anti-poverty program, the use of modern technology and the need to make India an independent economy. Other objectives included increasing economic productivity, increasing the production of food grains, and generating employment by providing social justice. Target growth rate was 5.0%, actual growth rate 6.01%. Annual Plans 1990 to 1992. The 8th Five-Year Plan was not introduced in 1990 and following years 1990 to 1991 and 1991 to 1992 were treated as annual plans. This was largely because of the economic instability. India faced a crisis of foreign exchange reserves during this time. Liberalization, privatization, globalization was introduced in India to grapple with the problem of the economy under the Prime Ministership of P.V. Narasimha Rao. 8th Five-Year Plan 1992 to 1997, also known as Rao and Manmohan Singh model of economic development, promoted the modernization of industries. India became a member of World Trade Organization on 1st January 1995. Goals were control population growth, reduce poverty, generate employment, strengthen the development of infrastructure, manage tourism, focus on human resource development, etc. Emphasis on involving the panchayat and nagarpalikas through decentralization. The growth rate was expected to be 5.6, but the actual growth rate was incredible 6.8. Ninth Five-Year Plan 1997 to 2002. It marked India's 50 years since independence, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee led the prime ministership. Emphasis on 7 basic minimum services, which are safe drinking water, universalization of primary education, streamlining PDS, support of social sphere to achieve complete elimination of poverty, and witness the joint efforts of public and private sector in guaranteeing the economic development. The focus was also to balance the relationship between the rapid growth and quality of life for the people. The objectives further included empowering social disadvantaged classes, developing self-reliance. Strategies included enhancing the high rate of export to gain self-reliance, efficient use of scarce resources for rapid growth. The target growth rate was estimated to be 7.1, but the actual growth rate fell shorter to 6.8. 10th Five-Year Plan 2002 to 2007. Promote inclusive growth and equitable development. It intended for the 8% GDP growth per year. It aimed at reducing the poverty by half and creating employment for 80 million people. Further, it aimed to reduce regional inequalities. It also emphasized reducing the gender gap in the field of education and wage rates by 2007 by at least 50%. Aimed at increasing domestic savings rate from 23.52% to 29.4%. The target growth rate was 8.1, while the achieved one was 7.6. 11th Five-Year Plan 2007 to 2012. C. Rangarajan prepared the plan. Theme was rapid and more inclusive growth, aimed at environmental sustainability and reduction in gender inequality. Aimed to increase enrollment in higher education and focused on distinct education as well as IT institutes. Example, the Right of Education Act was introduced in 2009 and came into effect in 2010, making education free and compulsory for the children aged between 6 to 14. The focus was also laid on providing clean drinking water for all by 2009. The target was 9, but actual growth rate was 8. 12th Five-Year Plan 2012 to 2017. Theme: faster, more inclusive and sustainable growth. 14 key areas to be focused upon. Example: transport, natural resources, health, education, etc., aimed at strengthening infrastructural projects and providing electricity supply in all villages. It also aimed at removing the gender and social gap in admissions at school and improved access to higher education. Aspired to enhance the green cover by 1 million hectares each year and to create a new opportunities in non-farming sectors. The target growth rate was 9%, but in 2012, National Development Council approved a growth rate of 8% for this 12th plan. Planning Commission was replaced with Niti Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India Aayog, which came into existence from 1st January 2015. This was all about the 5-year plans India had. Thank you and Jai Hind.